video, I recently got a fish tank, and that is the water trickling from the filter. I'm gonna see if there's anything I can do to make that a bit quieter, or to hopefully find a software that can edit it out. But in the meantime, I hope it's not too distracting for you guys. I really do hope. I have turned the gain down a bit, so that hopefully it doesn't pick up the noise as loud. And because it's Easter break at the minute, there is probably going to be quite a lot of foot traffic down my road, so I'll do my best to edit all that out too. But with it being Thursday today, let's do another a-hole video. My hair is wet because I just got out of the shower. If you like this video, please do give it a like and comment down below if any of your opinions differ to mine on these. I'm really interested to know about that. And as always, if you haven't already and you do enjoy the content, please subscribe. I do a trigger video every Tuesday, a Reddit video every Thursday, and a scary stories video every Sunday, and occasionally I will post a random video on a Friday. But yeah, let's get right into it. In the description will be the links to all the original posters for these stories. Let's Okay, this one is by Null-Pointer-Pro. Am I the a-hole for walking out of my own birthday dinner because my girlfriend did into her celebration? So, my 25 male birthday was last weekend. I don't usually do anything big, but this year a bunch of my friends were in town, and my girlfriend, 23 female, offered to plan something. I was genuinely excited. She made a dinner reservation at a nice place I've been wanting to try, and she had a little surprise plan. The surprise was that she invited a bunch of her friends, like 6 of them, people I barely know. One of them I actively dislike because she used to hit on me when my girlfriend and I first started dating. My girlfriend brushed it off, saying it would make things more fun and lively. Whatever, I tried to roll with it. But then at the dinner, it just got worse. She spent the entire time talking to her friends. I was seated at the far end of the table next to 2 people I'd never met. She didn't even sit next to me. When the food came, they all toasted her for organising everything and started talking about her upcoming promotion. Her best friend gave a speech about how she deserves all the happiness in the world. Not one mention of me or my birthday. No cake, no toast, no happy birthday, no nothing. I literally just sat there while everyone gushed over her for 2 hours. Eventually I got up, paid for my portion of the meal, and said I wasn't feeling well and left. I didn't make a scene or yell, I just quietly left. Later she texted me saying I embarrassed her in front of her friends and ruined the night. She said she tried really hard to make it special and I was being ungrateful. A few of her friends have messaged me saying I was being immature and that it wasn't that deep. But I don't know, man. Is it crazy to think my birthday should have been at least a little about me? Am I the a-hole? Update. We talked. She doubled down and said the dinner wasn't just about me, it was a chance to celebrate us and her hard work planning it. She admitted she didn't invite my friends because they wouldn't vibe with her circle. Still no happy birthday, no no apology, just told me I was being dramatic and should be thankful she even organised something. I guess the dinner really was all about her, so yeah, I ended things. Final update. Well, this blew up. The post ended up with 24k upvotes, over 5k comments, and even a bunch of awards. It is sitting at the top of Am I the A-hole on Best Hot and Top for quite a while. My phone's been melting. I didn't expect this kind of response, but I appreciate all the support, tough love, and even the chaos. You all helped me dodge a massive bullet. Anyway, I'm doing good. Took a few days to breathe, blocked the ex and her groupies, and treated myself to a birthday dinner that was actually about me, with people who give a damn. Appreciate you all. Yeah, definitely not the arsehole. The fact that the girlfriend basically planned a outing for her and her friends under the guise of it being for his birthday is so manipulative and yeah, terrible. She sounds like an absolutely god-awful person, especially after she doubled down on that, she deserves praise for organising something, and, instead of loving her boyfriend and wanting to do something nice for his special day. Let's read this next one. This is by your fave Bruna. Am I the a-hole for not babysitting my sister's kid after she said my infidelity makes me the perfect aunt? I, 32 female, found out last year that I can't have children. It was devastating. I don't really want to get into the medical side of it here, but it's been a hard pill to swallow. I've been in therapy, trying to process everything, and honestly it's been rough. My husband, 34 male, has been amazing through all of it. We've talked about maybe adopting someday, but right now I'm still just grieving. My younger sister, 29 female, had a baby about 8 months ago. She's always been kind of oblivious. She doesn't mean to be rude, but sometimes the stuff that comes out of her mouth is just wild. Anyway, ever since the baby was born, she's been hinting that I should help out more. She'll say things like, "You're so good with him. You were meant to be a mom," or "He loves you, you've got that maternal energy," which I guess is sweet on the surface, but also makes me feel like crap because I can't actually be a mom. Then last week she asked if I could watch the baby for 3 days straight while she and her boyfriend went on a last-minute trip to Vegas. 3 days. Not even can you watch him for a few hours? And I work full-time from home. I can't just drop everything to play nanny. When I told her no, she got weirdly passive-aggressive and said, Well, I just thought since you don't have kids, and probably never will, you'd appreciate the experience. Some of us don't get time off from being mums, I just stared at her, what the actual fuck? That's when I snapped and said, you know what? Maybe you should have thought of that before having a baby with someone who treats you like a backup plan. I'm not your free babysitter just because my uterus doesn't work. She got all teary and said I was being bitter and jealous and that I should be grateful to have a baby in my life at all. We haven't spoken since. My mum says I was cruel and that I should apologise. My husband says she had it coming. I feel like maybe I could have kept my cool better, but I'm just so tired of people acting like being childless means I'm supposed to step in whenever someone else needs help with theirs. Am I the a-hole? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Your sister was way out of line with what she said and taking a last-minute trip to Vegas instead of prioritizing a child is kind of crazy to me, especially when it wasn't sorted out beforehand, and she doesn't have a reliable babysitter. Whether someone's childless or not, you should never expect them to look after your child. Some people don't want kids either, and that's fine. So for her to expect her sister to look after the baby and then to kind of throw that in her face to maybe kind of, I don't know, guilt her or whatever is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Okay, this one is new, 14 minutes ago new. It is by Proper Ice 674 and it is titled, Am I the a-hole for getting pissed off with my best friend over her medical issues? I marked this not safe for work as this post contains talk about bullying and medical issues. All names have been changed to avoid this crossing over into my own life and theirs. I have a friend, let's call them B. B and I grew up together. When we were younger, they definitely didn't have any medical issues. They were a surfer. We went to a religious school together and stuck through thick and thin together. However, I moved to a completely different part of the country in year 6, about 10 years old, and they stayed there. For about 4 years, I had a hard time socially. Being picked in, okay, there's a lot of spelling errors and stuff, so let me just decipher this. Being picked on in one school, moving to a religious school again, and then being bullied first year of high school, and then secondly by boys in my 3rd year. Anyways, during this time, B moved to a town a few hours away from me, and then into my town. It was a dream come true, and we've been in really good touch ever since. However, trouble began to arise last year. B went to a religious all-girls high school and was picked on immensely. It got so bad she ended up going only 4 days out of 10 weeks. I was at the local public school and my mum suggested to their mum about going to my school, so they did and everything went well. They enrolled and started the next year, currently this year. When B came to our school this year, my friend group welcomed her with open arms. We were all so excited for her to come. I'd even invited them to a few hangouts over the summer so they'd feel comfortable, but slowly the talks in our friend group involving them were uncomfortable. B started bringing up medical issues and things such as their double-jointed body. Sure, it wasn't great talk, but I knew they were trying their hardest to fit in, and so I let it slide. However, it got worse. B started to make jokes around my childhood decisions. It's a very clear thing with my friends that I have moderate autism and mild ADHD. The issue here was that B brought up things such as meltdowns, me throwing a chair at a teacher, stuff I don't do anymore as I've grown to control my emotions. I talked to B about this after seeing a school counsellor. During this time, we were entering a drama competition and B did not auction and somehow got a lead role I desperately wanted. I sucked it up and didn't mention it when I brought up how they had been talking. I was really positive, starting with the good stuff and reassuring them that we were happy with them in the friend group, just that I didn't like the jokes about my childhood issues. They apologized and mentioned they wouldn't do it again. But the talk about their medical issues got worse. B reads late into the night and complains about insomnia. They complain of other symptoms, yet they refuse to drink water or barely eat vegetables. They have also sprouted off about having ADHD, but none of this has ever been diagnosed. They don't share. They rarely care about my feelings or what I would like. I was joking around with a mutual friend about our school bell, and they hit me in the head twice. I have really bad skin, and when I'd been knocked in the head before, I had a huge lump there for ages, and it was embarrassing. I raised my hand to block the second blow, and they got shitty at me, telling me I was being over the top and to calm down. I told them in a snippy voice that they were over the top and moved to a separate space. As we had study hall. When I came back after completing some practice exam questions and being invited to play cards, I noticed B went up. My friends told me they had some medical issues lying up. They lied. They make up elaborate stories of coming into money when it's always been clear that they have had money. They're a single child with 2 parents who can't say no. They are paying $12,000 to go on a school trip with uni applications right around the corner. And they have even missed so many classes. Even this year, they are struggling to meet deadlines, or even pass at that. I hate it. I feel so shit for thinking this way. I don't want to, and I really want a friendship with them, but it's frustrating. I have a new partner, and their friend group makes me feel happier to be there. I want to help B and be there for them, but each conversation is daunting and makes me feel guilty for their issues. Is that wrong? Am I the a-hole? I'm looking for some genuine advice here. No, you are not the a-hole. You have had a talk with B already, basically saying how you don't like them making fun of your past meltdowns and stuff like that, and they don't seem to really care, and they're, like hitting you and stuff, and then when you try and get them to stop acting like you're the one in the wrong for not taking a joke, I think this person is really, really toxic to be around and tries to hide it through like, oh, you can't take a joke, grow up kind of thing. Like, it's not that serious like it is, because you're being a terrible person but trying to play it off. So no, not the a-hole. This next one is by MenuFit4296, and it is titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my husband's aunt breastfeed my baby just to bond? What the fuck? So this is weird. I, 27 female, gave birth to my daughter about 2 months ago. She's happy, healthy, and nursing well. My husband, 30 male, comes from a very tight-knit southern family. Most of them are sweet, if a bit overbearing, but his aunt, Pam, yes, real name changed, is on another level. She's in her late 40s, has 2 grown kids, and is kind of obsessed with babies. Like, too obsessed. We visited his family for the first time with the baby last weekend. Everyone was excited to meet her. Pam held her, rocked her, and then casually asked, "Do you mind if I try to breastfeed her? It helps with bonding." I legit thought she was joking. I kind of laughed and said, "Wait, what?" And she goes, "Totally serious. I did it with my niece when she was a baby. It calmed her right down. I've always had a strong maternal instinct. It's completely natural." What? I told her absolutely not. She kept insisting, saying I was being uptight and that women have shared breastfeeding for centuries. I don't care if this is normal in like ancient tribe. It's not happening with my baby. I told her no again, very firmly. She got super offended and walked off. Now I'm getting messages from other relatives saying I overreacted. That Pam was just being nurturing, and I should have let it dry because the baby was crying at the time. My husband backed me up at first, but now even he's like, maybe it wouldn't have been a big deal. No, I'm not letting someone else's boob near my child, full stop. But now I'm wondering, was it really that out of line? I know wet nursing is technically a thing, but I didn't ask for this. And it's not like I'm struggling with supply or needed help. Am I the a-hole for shutting it down hard and refusing to let her near my daughter again? Absolutely not. That is so weird and bizarre to ask. I've never ever heard of someone asking something like that before. And the fact that she and the family have doubled down on it after being told no, like, that's even more weird. If it was genuinely something normal, like to them or whatever, surely, you know, once they were told no, the mother doesn't feel comfortable with that, they should have backed off and apologized. Because, like, it's not their baby, they don't have the right, but no, they doubled down on it, which is super creepy in my opinion. Super, super weird. I also hate when people get annoyed at parents' decisions with their own children. Like, it's not your child. Like, go away. Like, if it was something bad, I understand, but it's like when the mother says, no, I don't want someone breastfeeding my baby, or no, I don't want the baby to have this food until they're whatever age, like, to have solids or whatever, like, that's the mother's choice and the dad's choice. Leave them do it. Don't try and argue. I don't know, it just annoys me. Somebody in the comments here said, not the arsehole. Sure, wet nursing is a thing, but I'm pretty sure your husband's aunt isn't lactating. What she was doing was offering her boob as a pacifier. Weird and creepy at best. And I completely agree with that. That is 100% my thoughts on it too. It just is screaming, you know, like, it's weird. It's not normal. Let me just go back really quickly and save these posts so that I can link them later. Otherwise I'll struggle finding them again. I always do. Save. Okay. Okay, this one sounds funny. This one is by il-hall/2953, and it is titled, Am I the a-hole for flashing my mother-in-law after she told me not to breastfeed my baby in my own house? I recently had a baby and I've been breastfeeding her regularly. My mother-in-law came over on short notice while I was doing chores around the house. She picked some things from our garden and chatted with me and my husband. She sat down and started watching the news on the TV. I ended up watching the TV a bit later too, and I was tired. My baby started getting fussy. I pulled down my top and started nursing her. My mother-in-law swung her head round at me and gave me a look. She huffed and said, really, around me, I'll just get naked too and have it all hanging out well, and rolled her eyes at me. This isn't the first time she's done something like this, and the last time she made a comment while she was here for the day, I just took my baby in another room. Then my husband brought me a cover, but my baby doesn't like it when I use it. This time I just had enough. I didn't have it all hanging out, and I was doing it pretty discreetly, not facing her. I was tired and I wasn't really thinking. I just pulled off my top and stood up right in front of her and told her I'll feed my baby when I want in my house. She just stared at me and I added, if you don't like it, you can leave. I sat back down and she said, I can't believe this girl, and got up and left. My husband was there and afterwards said I didn't have to go that far. He said mother-in-law texted him angrily, but I was just tired in the moment and all I was thinking about was feeding my baby. Am I the a-hole here? No, not the a-hole. The mother-in-law. She's had kids herself. Even if she didn't breastfeed, she should be understanding. You're in the comfort of your own home, which she has came to basically unannounced, on short notice. You're gonna feed your baby, and it's not like you waving them in her face. I just think she's either a mean old cow or she has something against the OB and is kind of using that as an outlet to pick a fight with her. She needs to grow up. But no, definitely not the a-hole. And the fact that the husband isn't openly on your side makes me angry. He needs to grow a spine and talk back to his mother. That was my stomach, if you heard that. I'm sorry. This one is by Madonio, and it's titled, Am I the a-hole for seeing people I am not allowed to see? Hi there, me again. Another thing here, I posted something yesterday and I also want to make amends. For more context, my last post explained it partially. So yeah, I male 29, I've been in a relationship with female 29 for almost 3 years and we've had a fair amount of issues with trust essentially. A little bit before I started to hang out with her, I became friends with a girl, among other female friends by the way. We got along pretty well, hung out quite a lot, but honestly to me it was nothing but friendship, and to her as well. I honestly never thought of anything else, and I honestly believe in the fact that you can be friends with anyone. Yeah, my girlfriend has always been jealous of this friend. Naturally, when I really committed to my girlfriend, I came to see my friend less. No issues here. But I was quite upset with the situation with her ex-boyfriend, and one day, me being resentful, I kinda made it clear that I can have options if I really wanted to. I know this is not the way to resolve things, and I regret it to this day. This just escalated the trust issues to another level. Her already having trust issues from her ex-boyfriend. From then on, we agreed that I don't talk to this friend anymore. I found it unfortunate because this was a good friend, but I am okay with compromising. Around 1 year and a half later, I found out she was still talking to her ex-boyfriend, and I thought to myself, okay, so we are not really fulfilling our promises. Why do I even bother anyway? So I tried to reconnect with her, and here and there, nothing special. It was not the same as before anyway, so I kinda gave up because you know how it is as time goes by. However, at some point this friend got back in touch with me and we met up. Just talking about life and stuff like that. Nothing special. I felt guilty, and I surely am because nobody knows. It was a secret. A few months later we met up again with one of her friends that I also get along well with for a casual dinner. Then recently this friend invited me and the other friend to her new flat for a casual dinner. It felt really good talking to other people, but it doesn't feel right at all to do secretive things like that. All in all, I met this friend three times over the course of 2 years without telling my girlfriend. It's quite messy, isn't it? In my opinion, with this story, both of the people are kind of the asshole. The girlfriend is the asshole because she has, set boundaries and said that she won't see her ex anymore because he didn't like that. But went back on her word against that, and tried to keep it a secret, so she's the a-hole for that. But he's the a-hole for in secret. Like, I'm a firm believer that you should always be honest with your partner. Like, hiding things will never go well. If you really do love each other and respect each other, then you'll talk through whatever the issue is and you'll come to some kind of agreement. You shouldn't have to hide things around your partner. And that's where trust issues, stem from. So I do believe it's always best to be honest. But he's also the a-hole for what he said. He said in the past that, he basically was bragging that he could have other girls if he wanted to, knowing how it would affect her, so he's also the a-hole for that. So I think they're both in the wrong in that story, but let me know if you guys have any other thoughts on that one. Again, that's a new one, 11 minutes old. The next one is I ate cereal with a knife. But most of it's spelled wrong. It'll be in the description. It's titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my sister she shouldn't have brought her baby to my adults only party? I, 30 male, recently had a minor falling out with my sister, 28 female, and I'm not sure if I overstepped or if she's being too sensitive. She had her first baby 2 months ago, and I've been really happy for her. I'm not super into kids myself, but I get that it's a huge deal for her. She and her husband are both very baby brain right now. Every conversation somehow leads back to diapers, naps, feeding, schedules, etc. So last week, my girlfriend and I hosted a small get-together at our place. It was mostly friends from work and a few people from our gym. Pretty casual. Just drinks, snacks, music. I invited my sister and her husband too, but told her up front it was going to be more of a chill adult night. And probably not the best place to bring the baby. I assumed they'd get a sitter or one of them would come. Or just one of them would come. They showed up with the baby. I was a little surprised, but tried to be polite. Within like 15 minutes, the baby started fussing, and my sister ended up sitting on the couch nursing him with a blanket over her, while her husband hovered around awkwardly trying to calm him down. It totally changed the vibe. The music got turned on, a couple people left early, and the rest of us were just kind of keeping our distance. It felt less like a party and more like a weird family visit. After they left early because the baby was fussy, I texted her the next day and said I wish she'd had respected the vibe of the night and either come without the baby or just skipped it altogether. I said I didn't want to sound harsh, but it kind of threw off the whole thing and made people uncomfortable. She replied saying she felt embarrassed and like I was shaming her for being a mum. She said she didn't think it would be a big deal and that if people were uncomfortable, that was on them. Now she's barely responding to my messages and told our mum that I humiliated her over nothing. I don't think I was out of line for being honest. It wasn't a baby-friendly event and I gave her a heads up. I didn't yell or make a scene, I just told her how it came across. Am I the a-hole? No, you are not the a-hole. You put out there that, this was more of an adults-only event, and you didn't ask her to leave with the baby, you just left it, and you didn't make any confrontation in front of everyone or embarrass them, you just texted her afterwards, which is the best thing you could have done in my opinion. However, I do recommend that next time you, instead of putting the idea out there, just straight up tell her that you don't want the baby to come, like it is only for adults, because I was the case because she has baby brain right now, you know. So just make it like definitively clear next time, but you're definitely not the a-hole. Okay. Let's find another one. Okay, let's do this one. Jaded Method 1518, and it is, am I the a-hole for kicking my girlfriend out for diagnosing me? I, male 36, have been dating Mandy, female 34, for 6 months. My place is closer to her work, so she sleeps over a few nights a week and has a key. She also finishes work earlier than I do, so she usually gets to my place before me. I have anxiety and see a therapist once a month. I manage it by I manage it by maintaining routines and schedules. For example, when I get home, I feed my cat first, then wash my hands, start cooking, then clean up. I don't expect her to do anything around my house, but I do expect her to at least put her dirty dishes in the dishwasher. When I explained this to her, she asked, "Are you autistic?" I said I didn't think so and added that this is just basic courtesy. Even if I was autistic, I'd still expect the same. But she kept doing it. I came home again to dirty dishes all over. She uses bowls for snacks and cups and drinks. When I asked her why she didn't put them in the dishwasher, she replied, "There's that tism again, you really need to get tested." Last night when I got home, she asked me to grab her a can of Coke. I said I'd do it after I'd fed my cat. She yelled, "You autistic fuck, you can't even break your routine for a can of Coke. How long are you gonna be in denial? Just get tested." I told her to leave. Whether I'm autistic or not is none of her business. She got mad and left. Later she sent me a bunch of TikToks about autism, saying she was just trying to help. Was I the a-hole? I don't like my house being dirty. No, you are not the a-hole. She sounds very, very toxic, and I really hope that you leave her because you don't need to be put in that situation. For a start, she's kicking off saying you autistic fuck and all that, and she's basically being really, really rude about it. Whether he's autistic or not is none of her business, and it doesn't change anything. Like, he's asked for her to keep the house clean, like put the dishes in the dishwasher. That's all he asks for her. That's not because he's autistic. I mean, for some people it might be, but like, that's just because he wants a clean house. Most people want a clean house. That's fair, and I can't imagine visiting someone and making a mess and not cleaning it up. Like, I'd feel terrible, you know. And then like the routine thing with the can of Coke, it's like you've asked him to do a favour for you. He's told you in a minute after he does such and such. If you're not happy with that, get up and grab one yourself. Like, stop hounding this poor man. She sounds like a bitch. Okay, I think we should do like one or two more. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Oh, this one sounds juicy. It's from Vinicius from Ben. I probably said that one wrong. Am I the a-hole for not letting my brother meet my baby after what he did to my dog? I, 33 male, live with my husband, 31 male, and our 7-month-old daughter. We adopted her last year after a long, difficult process, and she's the center of our world now. Before becoming parents, we had a rescue dog named Luna. She was a calm, sweet, big lab mix who'd been through a lot before we adopted her. She was my emotional support during some really dark years, and we loved her deeply. A few months ago, my younger brother, 26 male, came to stay with us while looking for work. When my husband and I had to fly out for a weekend wedding, we asked him to house sit and take care of Luna. I left a detailed list of instructions: no off-leash walks, no loud music, no weed inside. Luna had noise and smell sensitivities. He nodded along and said he had it. We came back Sunday night and Luna was gone. Turns out he took her to the park, let her off the leash while blasting music, and high as hell. She bolted. 2 days later we got the call. She'd been hit by a car, killed instantly. I confronted my brother and he barely reacted, just said something like, "I didn't think she'd run off, my bad." No real remorse. Since then he's been trying to come and visit to meet our baby, but I can't do it. I told him I don't trust him, and if he couldn't respect basic instructions about Luna, there's no way I'm putting him near our daughter. My mum says I'm overreacting, holding a grudge, and it's just a dog. But Luna wasn't just a dog, she was family. So yeah, am I the a-hole for keeping my brother away from my kid after he got my dog killed? Absolutely not. You should honestly, I guess it's not my place to say, but I would disown that brother entirely. They were not hard instructions to follow. He is not responsible at all. He literally got your dog killed and had no care. He didn't call you to tell you, he just let you come home and find out. She was missing at the time, he didn't call and say. And he really didn't seem to care about what had happened to her. If I accidentally got my or someone else's dog killed, I would be sobbing my heart out for weeks and weeks and weeks. I don't think I would ever be able to forgive myself, and he just doesn't seem to care in the slightest, which is really concerning, about his psychology or morals or something like that. That's quite concerning, I think. Definitely do not let him around your baby, especially alone, please, for her sake. Yeah, not the a-hole. He just sounds like the worst. Let's do one more. Let's do this one. It's by Remarkable Lion 7866, and it is titled, "Am I the a-hole for calling my half siblings bad people for screaming at my dad because he doesn't want to be buried with their mum, but mine instead?" My dad lost his first wife 20 plus years ago. My half siblings, late 20s to early 30s, are his kids from that marriage. He met my mum 3 years ago. He met my mum 3 years after his first wife died, and they got married and had me, 17 female. They were expecting my little brother when I was 2, but he was stillborn. My half-siblings never seemed that okay that Dad remarried, but it wasn't so dramatic until the last couple of months. Basically, it started with a confrontation about how Dad better not try to bury my mum with their mum or plan for all 3 of them to be together, and how gross that was. Then it turned into a fight over Dad wanting to be buried with my mum and not theirs, if he couldn't be buried with both. That continued for weeks, and they showed up to our house with some of their mum's siblings, and it became this huge fight about how Dad better give up his rights to the grave and never visit again, and how he betrayed their mum and didn't deserve to play the grieving widow when he replaced her, and even dared to have kids with this new whore. His first wife's siblings were disgusted that he bought the grave with my half-sibling's mum and wanted to abandon her like he abandoned their vows when he remarried. They said he was disrespecting their sister. It got really intense and heated, and my dad was upset. He told them he didn't want to be away from either wife in death, but if nobody wanted my mum with them, then he couldn't abandon her either. That made it worse, and they called my mum all kinds of names and said she should have never been his priority, and their mum gave him 4 kids while mine only gave him 1. That started a whole new thing off. It upset both my parents a lot. I ended up asking my half-siblings and their aunts and uncles to leave. They yelled at me for interrupting their dog with their dad and I said they were bad people for treating our dad like that. It set them off even worse, and Dad made them leave himself. They're more pissed at him now because of what I said. Am I the a-hole? No, not the a-hole. I'm sorry, but I know it's a sensitive topic for all, but the only person who gets to decide where he's buried, since he's still currently alive and can make those decisions, is the dad himself. They're the ones who said they didn't want them all 3 together, so he had to make a choice. And he has obviously chosen his new wife. That doesn't mean he never loved his old wife. That's not what that means. It just, he wants to be buried with the wife he has now. And that's fine. It's nobody else's place to say who he should favour in death or something like that. I don't know. Not the a-hole, in my opinion at least. People are saying in the comments that he should make sure his burial wishes are in wills and stuff like that, which I think is a good idea, because I think when he does die there's going to be a lot of family drama of people talking from all different directions trying to get it done their way instead of the way he wanted. Anyway, that is going to be the last story for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, I'm really sorry for any background noise, but I really hope that you still enjoyed it anyway. As always,